All right, we'll talk again soon. Thank you very much, Steve. Spying on your spouse or your friend is really quite simple thanks to new cell phone apps. But now, one state lawmaker is pushing to make them illegal. Those apps allow for access to your significant other's most personal and private conversations. And our Capitol correspondent Pat Bailey has more on the apps and the push to make them illegal and what the reaction has been. How about it, Pat?
Yeah, Liz, we're talking about apps for smartphones, and they are extremely smart when downloaded. A New York City Assembly member says that there are three in particular that he is targeting because he believes they lead to stalking and even domestic violence. That's why he has legislation to make them not only illegal in New York State, but taken down from major app stores like Google and Apple altogether.
We know these phones to be smartphones, but today they could be called spy phones. New apps are allowing data sharing from one phone right to your own. And it's not just broad information, it's specific numbers, contents of text messages, and emails.
This is stalking for the 21st century.
Assemblymember Kellner of New York City is making it a mission to have such apps as iTrack, Spy to Mobile, and I See You taken down, or at least made illegal in New York State. Kellner has legislation to make that happen.
There are a lot of domestic violence organizations who fear these apps because they allow a stalker, they allow an abuser to re-victimize their victim and be omnipresent in their lives.
The apps, many of which are free to download, are available on most smartphones, Androids or iPhones. The apps' descriptions say they are intended for entertainment only, and you need the consent of both people. However, technology experts say most people who want to spy on others know how to do so despite a weak warning from the app maker.
This is an issue of diligence, it's an issue of security, and it's an issue of relationships where you know what the technology of your life is.
To help prevent any further spying, Assemblymember Kellner says he will use a special session of the state legislature that is rumored to take place in a few weeks to deal with flood aid for the Mohawk Valley to pick up support for this bill.
How do you handle the criticism of some people saying that in this day and age for an assembly member, you should be worrying about bigger issues in the state?
I think this is a pretty big issue. I think domestic violence, I think stalking is a pretty big issue. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about people's safety. I'm concerned about victims not being re-victimized.
Now, the assembly member tells me he has contacted Google about the issue, and they have already agreed to take some of the apps out of their app store. He says the end goal is to have them all taken down from all app suppliers worldwide. Now, big question is, if the apps do become illegal in New York State, how will that be policed and enforced? I talked to an attorney about that. Hear what she had to say coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. Liz?